welcome back to another episode of 205 Motorsports. Me and the kids are currently on the way to my parents' house so they can play, and hopefully I can do a little bit of work on my truck. I'll be working on my 97 Ford F350. It's equipped with the 7.3 Powerstroke and 5-speed manual. It's pretty much stock. It was parked about a year ago because air in the hydraulic system, and then while I was diagnosing that, because my dad was thinking that it was the bad slave cylinder, and I didn't see any fluid leaking around the hydraulics or the slave cylinder, and I found the cap off of the master, so I'm pretty sure there's just air in the system that needs to be bled out. But while I was diagnosing that, then I noticed some burnt pins on my left bank under valve cover harness. Elena. And a little bit shortly after that, then it quit firing altogether on that left bank because due to the burnt pins. As far as things that I need to do before I really get it back on the road, I need to get new batteries, need to replace these cables on both sides. They're pretty rough. I mean, they're nearly 25 years old. My intake boot, you can see, is torn. Need to replace that. Obviously, this is the current problem, is my burnt under valve cover harness pins, which is what I'm working on. Valve covers are ready to come off pretty much. What else? Need to bleed the clutch, give the engine bay a good degreasing, and just get it cleaned back up. Whole truck needs to be detailed, but as far as cosmetics that it needs, side molding is trashed. Some prefer it without the side molding. I prefer it with, so I'm going to try to get some replacement. Body mounts, needs new cab mounts. The body lines don't line up anymore. Let's see there. The tailgate got messed up years and years ago whenever my dad was still the owner of the truck, but it was still usable, and then it finally broke maybe a couple years ago, so I need to get a replacement there. I guess whenever I get a tailgate and whenever it's time to get it painted, then I need to go ahead and do the top of the cab. It's pretty bad up there. And then I also like to get rid of these slip-on mirror extenders and go with the GM tow mirrors. And a lot of people don't like the fact that you're putting a GM part on a Ford, but the Ford tow mirrors, this doesn't make sense because you get rid of this entire wing window, whereas with the GM mirror you just block a little bit of the wing window, and you have a very functional mirror, and you still have a functional wing window. But yeah, let's get to work. So a little about the truck. Like I have already mentioned, it is a 97 F350. It's not an F250. I do get a bit offended whenever somebody calls it an F250, because in this era of truck, then the front suspension between the F250 and the F350 were completely different. The F250 used a TTB front suspension, which is a independent front suspension with leaf springs, the Dana 50 carrier, where this has the Dana 60 solid front axle, 35 splines. Anyways, that's the biggest difference between the two. 7.3 Powerstroke, 5-speed manual. My dad bought this truck new back in '97. He ordered it how he wanted it. It has the 4:10 gear ratio, full drive. Like I already mentioned, the engine transmission, how he wanted it for towing. I got the truck in, I believe it was summer of 2008, I'll say. That was right before I started my senior year in high school. Because he gave me his old truck and he bought my sister's a vehicle, then he put a little bit of money in this truck to kind of fix it up for me. We bought new wheels and tires for it, a new clutch, because at 250,000 miles, which what the truck had on it whenever I got it, it still had the original clutch. And so he bought me a new clutch, wanted me to have a fresh clutch to start out with. Turbo back exhaust, aftermarket headlights, and that's pretty much it. Since then, I've just done the regular maintenance, replaced a few bad parts, that normal wear and tear starters, batteries. I think I put an alternator on it, done glow plugs once already in the left under valve cover harness. Now I'm doing the opposite side under valve cover harness, at least just the pigtail. But yeah, let's quit burning daylights and get back to working on it. So this is what I discovered whenever I pulled the valve cover. Wasn't really anticipating on needing to change this part, but luckily I have a new valve cover and the harness I need on hand. Good to have spare parts laying around. I guess once I am able to, I'll get replacements again, hopefully whenever I pull that valve cover. I don't find any surprises under there. From what I can see, outside all the pins are good, unlike this left side, so maybe they don't need to be replaced. I know it would be smart to go ahead and replace it all while I have the valve cover off, but I don't have the parts, and I told my wife that I had all the parts I needed to fix it. I wouldn't really need to spend any more money, so that's where I'm at. Alright, well, just like last time, I have rain coming in. I feel a few drops, but I've been feeling the cold breeze and the darker clouds rolling in. So I knew it was coming. I made a pretty good bit of work done. I've got the left side pretty much finished up. I'm just bolting the valve cover back down now. I guess I'll do the right hand side another day. It's not really I don't think the right hand side really needs it, but I'm gonna go ahead and at least do the glow plugs anyways. Like I already said, hopefully whenever I pull the valve cover off I don't find any more burnt connectors, but yeah, gonna kind of clean up and I guess call it a day. That should wrap up this video. Took longer than I had hoped, But with the weather and small children and the heat, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. I appreciate you watching, and until next time, God bless.